Hey guys, welcome back. It's Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Funimation, Dragon Ball, anime dub actors, and a huge controversy that just dropped in the last 24 hours regarding some of the Dragon Ball voice actors working for Funimation. Just made aware of it a little bit ago.
Yeah.
We weren't really keeping up with this, but oh my god. So we're going to talk about that in the video, and we're also going to talk about why we haven't really been covering the Vic Mignogna situation too much, and some of our thoughts on all of this. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. We passed 56,000?
Yeah, it's over 56 now.
I think we're over 56,000. It's like Dragon Ball. We're over 56,000. Over 56,000 subs, and we're hoping to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. Thank you very much to all of you who have subbed, and we appreciate the support. Okay, Geeky, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I have a bit of a headache, but I'm okay.
A bit of a headache. Yeah, she wasn't in the last video. She's been very, very busy the last few days. So,
I was running all over the place.
yeah, she was. So, okay, this situation, in a nutshell, Dragon Ball Z voice actors have been, well, I don't know if caught is a word I would use.
I don't know how to describe this. I mean, go ahead.
Okay, so they were recording some very lewd, racist, homophobic,
Very
misogynistic stuff
They were.
as their characters.
Yes. I mean, it was meant to be something that wasn't going to be heard. It was meant to be a joke, which is, hey, I get it. That's fine. I think that's how we got the ghost stories, which I love ghost stories. But, I wouldn't repeat. I was going to transcribe some of the stuff. I wouldn't repeat it. It's that bad. I mean, I don't feel comfortable saying those things. It's going to make me feel bad to say them.
Yeah, they were pretty raw. I was surprised. I was like, oh, come on. Everybody working as a voice actor does kind of a piss take on.
Yeah, it's not unusual.
But the fact is, these are a lot of the same people who have been accusing Vic Mignogna.
Well, that's where the issue is.
Yeah, so
They're on the one side of their face, they're yelling about how we can't have people doing homophobic, misogynistic crap. As they do homophobic, misogynistic crap. I mean, I wasn't even offended listening to it. And it's just you guys, that's what I'm mad about. I don't really care that you made the videos. I care about the fact that you made them as a joke and then screamed about everybody else, thinking no one would know that you did it too.
yeah, and this does seem to happen more and more often, where a lot of times the people with the loudest voices who are doing the most accusing are actually as guilty themselves. And, this is a case of where, look, Funimation terminated Vic Mignogna for allegations that were not substantiated. And these folks have straight up violated their employment contract with Funimation, using their characters, doing these voices in character. Could you imagine if Disney actors, if the voice of Mickey Mouse made these kinds of jokes as Mickey Mouse recording on Disney equipment? It would be all over the place. It would be all over the place.
And that's the problem right there. Is the fact that it was done in a work setting, and it was done, it was done at all. And then they were trying to throw shade at everybody else who did this, who mostly Vic. They're throwing shade at him, while they themselves have done things that are very questionable, and they have no business saying anything when they themselves have done bad things. And
yeah,
and theirs is provable. It's right there.
This isn't the first time this has happened either. One of the voice actors, I think it was Sean Schemmel, had a video out there doing a gay He-Man parody.
Yes, I did transcribe that one.
It was very, very look, I get joking. I completely
we do
get
it all the
jokes.
time, even though some people that listen don't get joking. But anyway.
Yeah, so I get making a joke, but again, when your whole thing is attacking somebody else for being a homophobe, for allegedly being a homophobe, and you yourself are using derogatory language when talking about gay people, as much as we joke around on Clownfish TV, that we
would
slurs,
never say those things.
I would never use those slurs, because it's gross, especially current year. I mean, that the internet never forgets. That this stuff will never totally go down the memory hole. That this stuff never disappears completely.
No.
And it always waits for the worst possible time to come up. And in this case, you know, these voice actors are under a microscope now because they're involved in this lawsuit. You know, a lot of them, and Funimation is absolutely, you know, under a microscope right now. This is not a good look.
Yeah, is Funimation just going to fire these people without, you know, just because there's accusations? Because there's actually video evidence, audio evidence they did it. So are they going to fire them right now without any warning because, you know, they have it on tape?
Well, asking around, my understanding is they absolutely violated Funimation's employee contract.
Because, I mean, they're claiming that's what happened and they could just get rid of, you know, right or wrong, we're not saying. They could just get rid of Vic Mignogna like that because he did something supposedly bad. These guys have evidence of this. Are they fired? Because they should be. I'm not trying to get anybody fired. I'm just saying,
right.
You know, you have to hold the same standard. You can't be like, the standards are different for different people. That's not right. It's not fair. And that's when people question, like, well, wait a minute. You know? And that's all we've ever done is be like, well, wait a minute.
Right, right. And that's kind of where we're at with it. Now, Funimation, to the best of my knowledge, currently we're recording this about 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. They have not responded at all to any of this. People have been tweeting at them. They've been tweeting at Toei Animation, which is where Dragon Ball comes from. They're the rights holders to Dragon Ball, and they let Funimation dub Dragon Ball in the US. And there's some concerns as to whether or not they will allow Funimation to continue dubbing Dragon Ball, which is probably the most popular anime of all time.
Well, they should just take people off. They should just go get new actors to do the parts, and then take those actors' names off everything associated with it.
Absolutely,
I'm just saying
they should just wipe these people from existence. They should cancel them, you know, because that seems to be company policy, right? When there's any kind of infraction, you're supposed to be completely wiped from existence.
Hinting at an infraction, you know, preemptively they have to just, you know, erase you. So I'm assuming these people will be erased by the end of the day or by, you know, next week.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if they're gonna, you know, be fair.
Right. So, yeah, this is interesting. A voice actor, let's see here, Yukie Matsuzaki, who is, I thought he worked with Toei. I don't think he does. He is a voice actor here in the US. I think he's worked on, I pulled up his credentials. He'd worked on some Disney stuff. He's worked on, let's see, Lion Guard, We Bear Bears, Ninja Turtles. He's the current voice of Usagi Yojimbo. But, you know, he's pretty well known in the voice acting circle, and he's basically like, I am going to make sure that Toei Animation knows about this shit. Now that's this shit being I'm adding that, but it is a huge black eye for Funimation. They've already been under the microscope. I'm sure Toei is probably looking at them like, what the hell are you doing over there? Why are you dragging our characters through the mud like this? And again, like, could you imagine somebody doing Mickey Mouse, the current voice of Mickey Mouse, doing those sorts of things?
Well, it's interesting here because they have this here, and then they have wherever you had the picture. Where was it? Right there. Okay, so he says what he's saying, and then they're like talking about what they're you know, translating, and then it comes back to here, and then someone's like, well, first that translation is awful. I can't make out what he's saying, and like, you know, kind of deflecting or whatever. And he's like, here's exactly what I said. The voice actors of English version of Dragon Ball had recorded a parody that at Funimation, which consists of offensive jokes about same-sex intercourse. It's a huge problem that could end the English Dragon Ball franchise. That was part of the joke. Other jokes were there was kind of some racism in there.
Misogyny, all the stuff.
Kept, you know, they had the one character calling his son, you know, a slang term for people being gay that's not a very, you know, it used to mean cigarette.
Yeah,
so
repeatedly. Bundle of sticks. He called him a bundle of sticks, repeatedly. And again, I get jokes. The current culture doesn't get jokes. And, you know, right now, especially with everything going on, it's not a good look to have there are people out there with this kind of stuff. And this isn't the first time. There are multiple instances of voice actors using character voices to say things as the characters.
I'm sorry, I'm looking here. You didn't have to destroy the man's life like that. Literally what they did to Vic. That's what I'm going to say. You don't have to destroy the man's life. But how come this is allowed? This is just joking. This is allowed. This is allowed. I've been to anime cons. I've been a guest to anime cons. I've seen how the voice actors act. The stuff that they're yelling about, they all do. I've seen them do it. All the ones I've been to. I've seen them act in the ways that they're mad about, you know, Vic Mignogna for doing. I've seen them do it, and that's okay because it's them. And that's here, you're gonna ruin his life? Well, you had no problem ruining other people's lives. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and the thing is, there needs to be a standard, like, look, there's, like, you do not do XYZ things. Now, when were these videos recorded, the audio recorded? If it was before Sony got involved, what am I looking at?
Wait, no, this. But Vic was being a effing hypocrite. He was invoking and praying to God, so what he did was totally anti-Christian. Because the Funimation voice actors kept their religions to themselves and don't believe in God. What? That doesn't even make any sense. And that's what this person's responding to. They're like, are you serious?
What is this? I don't even understand. I don't even, yeah, I'm with Judge Judy on this one. So let's read this article. This is written by a woman, Angel Wilson. It went up today. It's the only article I can find on. I actually went out and I keep hitting refresh on Anime News Network.
Oh, they're not going to cover it. Oh, heck no.
And there's nothing coming up, Anime News Network, because we're not going to make Funimation upset with us. They do talk about, you know, Vic Mignogna dirt. They've been dished on him. Now, I want to bring up why we have not been covering the Vic Mignogna situation.
People ask us.
Everybody keeps asking, why aren't you covering the blow by blow?
You probably could have used better words.
Why are you not covering Vic? Where's our daily Vic video? A couple reasons. One, there's a heck of a lot of other people out there doing a daily Vic video. Mm-hmm. We don't need more noise, mm-hmm. right? We don't need to be doing it. Everybody else has
We're too busy doing daily Disney videos.
Yeah, that's our new thing.
I mean, I'm just calling out the hypocrisy on myself, so go ahead.
Yeah, so, you know, nobody needs our hot takes on the Vic Mignogna situation every day. Two, it's in court right now. And, you know, I figured the courts will deal with it. He's going to get his day in court. And, you know, when a verdict happens, we will, one way or the other, we will comment on it. But we haven't felt the need to get involved in the day-to-day.
I don't want to make it worse for people either. You know what I mean?
Right. Let the courts deal. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. There are people who cover it, and that's fine. They can do whatever they want to do. I'm not going to tell them they shouldn't or can't, whatever. But it's not our thing. It's in court right now, and we'll see what happens.
Right.
You know?
I mean, it's already progressed that far, so we'll just wait and see what goes on. But I will call out this because the double standard is just ridiculous.
Right. So there needs to obviously be, I believe, an even-handed punishment for Funimation employees who violate their contracts. And I've asked around, and yeah, it does absolutely violate their Sony contract. So more WVA drama is brewing at Funimation. So earlier this year, we reported on the firing of Vic Mignogna by Funimation and its relation to convention culture and the Me Too movement. Now even more VA actors are in hot water for their offensive behavior last night in what feels like a move to burn the house down on their way out.
Yeah.
Free speech advocate and lawyer Nick Rekieta retweeted an audio link to other Funimation voice actors doing extremely offensive jokes during recording. The jokes included homophobic slurs and references to incest.
Yes.
Among horribly unsavory things. I listened to a lot of them and I was like, oh my God. You know,
it's bad. It's I wouldn't even transcribe it. It was that bad in places.
I will put links to people who have put them up and you can listen for yourself, but just make sure there are no children in the room. It's pretty raw. And I do understand people
making jokes and stuff.
Yeah, blowing off steam. Sometimes people warm up by doing those kinds of jokes, but I'm like, again, the point is it's very hard to take the moral high ground when you yourself are doing what you're accusing other people of doing. What gets me
is people are like, you know, constantly throwing shade at us and saying, well, you guys are homophobic, racist, whatever, which we're not. Because I'll tell you what, whether I was joking or warming up or not, I would never have said these things. And I'm not out there claiming that I am, you know, I'm not out there going around saying that, oh, no, I embrace all, which I do embrace all. I really do. People think I don't, but I truly do. And I, as someone who would embrace all, I would never think it was okay to say these things in the first place. Even if it was a joke, I wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable saying it. I would never even jokingly say these things as a joke. I mean, I'll make jokes about the dick character in Star Wars because it's not a real person and it looks like a dick.
He does look like a dick.
But I'm just saying, I'm like, I wouldn't go say the things, you know, that are being said here because I couldn't even write them because I was like, I can't even. I'm sorry. So I was even like, oh my God, I can't. Joke or not, these are beyond inappropriate.
Right, and I get that. And I think what floors me about it is not even because even the He-Man video, we saw the homophobic slur He-Man video that I think it was.
That was better than this. I transcribed and repeated that, but this was way worse.
I can't remember which voice actor voice actor did that, but that was mocking. That was a parody of He-Man. This is the actual official English voice actors on Dragon Ball. Probably and arguably the most popular anime series of all time, at least here in the States. Doing
Sailor Moon.
well, I think Sailor Moon
biased.
Before, behind, but doing these things, saying these things in character in a Funimation studio, possibly on company time, and we're talking like it's not just like one or two; it's like 4 or 5 different people.
Several people at once are doing like a whole sequence on the one, and it's like I get people are saying, "Oh, it's just a joke. You can't take jokes." I totally get joking. I do. I personally wouldn't have liked this no matter what because I think they go too far. But there's joking and then there's this, and
Yeah, this is, and this is where we're at right now. They said that Nick Rekieta pointed out, and again, have not watched Nick Rekieta's streams in a while. No offense to Nick Rekieta, but his streams run like 4 hours.
We're very busy.
We're very busy. I don't have time. But he said that it violates the same Funimation rule that got Vic fired in the first place.
That's what I said. Is they going to be fired by Monday?
I don't know. Many Vic supporters point to the apparent hypocrisy of some of the voice actors who they view as having abandoned Vic earlier this year. Vic was fired over a clause in Funimation's rules that these actors also appear to have violated. The line of thinking is that they should all get canned. As much as I detest the tactic and am firmly in the Kick Vic camp, so she's actually Kick Vic.
Right.
As much as I detest the tactic and am firmly in the Kick Vic camp, they aren't exactly wrong here.
However, there also seems to be an assumption that those who oppose Vic will somehow reveal themselves to be hypocrites themselves. It's kind of redundant. Now that actors on their side are revealed to also be horribly offensive. As far as I'm concerned, clean the entire house of people like this and start over. Yes, I agree with you. I mean, if you're going to say that's bad, and these other things bad, and if they're all doing bad things, then you know what?
I would agree too.
I'm happen to agree with this person.
And that's the thing. It's like whatever the rules are at Funimation, they need to be applied evenly. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry that I get the joke. I get the joking. I get the joking around. Right? It's funny to have.
This joking is this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's funny to have Goku say something that you wouldn't expect him to say. But I'm also like, leave that for the god awful fan dubs. When you're the official Goku voice actor,
right?
Using Goku's voice, using company equipment to have Goku make homophobic slurs.
And we're sure these were done at...
I believe they were. I asked, somebody said that they thought it was either at Funimation or like a Funimation sanctioned home studio.
It's still not good look to do this at all. But if they weren't doing the equipment, you can't argue that. But yeah, but it's not a good look either way.
If it's like Disney, okay, with their voice actors, like you're not allowed to, I guess, besmirch the characters in any way. You cannot, make a sex call with Goofy's voice if you're the official Goofy. Oh my God. Could you imagine that?
Oh my God. I'm trying not to.
But you can't do it. You can't even you're not even supposed to take the mask off in the park if you're Goofy.
Yeah, people talk about how they throw up in the costume and they have to get somebody out there. They have to keep going until someone comes and replaces them.
And Disney takes their characters very, very seriously. They do not want incidents like this where
oh my gosh,
it's going to come up. I mean, what if
this was Disney? Oh my word.
If it was Disney, it'd be done. Actually, if it was Disney, you probably never would have heard of it because even if it happened behind the scenes, they would have buried it in the backyard and something would have happened to the voice actor and they would have had, conflicting.
Well, they wouldn't have happened to him, but
not
they would have been changed. I mean, I honestly believe Disney has backups for these voice actors. So boom.
Yeah, this one's getting a little long in the teeth because they can't afford to have downtime for Mickey or Minnie. Unfortunately, they can't. Rusty Taylor just passed away. I'm sure they already have another Minnie lined up.
I think that there already was somebody else who was in
like an understudy. Yeah, and that's what happened with Mickey too. But again, it's like Goku is an incredibly popular character, has been for decades. There's responsibility to present Goku in the right light, and having these voice actors use their voice I guess you could say it's an abusive position. I don't know. If they were doing a parody of another character, I think even then it would be like, okay, whatever. But this is like you are Goku saying these things as Goku.
Even if they were joking and making some jokes, what the jokes were were so bad that I was even like, oh my god. You know what I mean? It's not like they're just like, like Ghost Stories, I think is a good example. They were just goofing around and ended up being funny, so they went with it because it was funny and it was a little bad, but it wasn't too bad. This is just like I said, I couldn't even, I wasn't good. I would not even be feeling comfortable to read it to you. I just hearing them do it, I couldn't even read it to you. I just couldn't.
So I mean, look, and we're not gonna, as far as the Vic situation is concerned, let the courts deal with it. Mm-hmm. It's in court right now. Let the courts deal with it. That's kind of our position on that.
But there needs to be a
standard.
Yes, a standard. And I'm with this person. It's like clean the entire house of the people like that if it's a problem. Because, we should just, we say in Disney, it's like, just get rid of all the people that are doing bad stuff. You know what I mean? It's just easy. Fix it, Yeah,
so this is Angel Wilson, who again is in the Kick Vic camp. She's like, get rid of Vic, but
I'm gonna let the courts handle it, camp.
Yeah, but she's like that the same standard needs to be applied, and there is a lot. Look, we did anime conventions for years. We've been to some of these panels. Mm-hmm. We see how people horse around all the time, and how this is not shocking. It's not shocking.
And it's like we've said this since the beginning of the Vic Mignogna situation. We've said this. We've been at the conventions. We've seen the way people behave. If they're yelling at him for behaving that way, I can tell you a whole bunch of other people that I saw behaving in similar fashions at the conventions. And it's like, every time you point your finger, there's 3 pointing back at you, because there's a lot of people who are out there screaming about this and that behavior. And they were doing the similar behaviors,
So I think that's kind of the point here, is that, if Funimation is going to set a company policy, it needs to be even-handed. And the only way that they're going to get rid of people like this is just be like, and I'm kind of with her. Maybe it's time to just start over. Mm-hmm. But she says the saddest part about the whole ordeal is it could cause one of the biggest English dub studios to collapse in on itself. Now, she doesn't watch dubs, but she says there is value for the English language market. Yeah, because those dubs actually do help bankroll overseas productions. Because Dragon Ball sells so well over here.
Right.
Toei Animation gets to make more Dragon Ball.
Right.
Because the international market is so huge. So, yeah, if they don't make fundamental changes in their work culture, this could damage the entire market for a long time to come. I think the market is already damaged. I think it's going to be damaged. And I think, it's...
Well, I think the flip side is, not to go back to the Vic Mignogna situation, but if they don't respond in kind to these actors as they did to Vic, he's going to have even more of a case in court, because there's clearly a double standard,
Yeah. We have a voice actor who speaks Japanese, making sure Toei Animation knows that. Toei is not going to like this, because again,
it's the devil.
The devil. It's the devil's retweet. So yeah, it's all over the place. And yeah, I do get that people are jumping up and down like, we got you. This is not shocking. We've even heard
we're not
things.
Surprised at all.
No, we've heard things like this on panels at anime cons. But the fact is, if the company policy is the company policy, and you have people doing this, using their characters' voices like this, then I'm sorry, it's got to be the same rules for everybody. And maybe there does need to be a fundamental shift in how they hire these people. And and I think with Sony owning Funimation now, they're probably going to have a totally different set of standards than when Funimation was its own.
Well, they're going to have to.
Studio.
I mean, but it's interesting because, like I said, if there is double standard here, and if people that do this stuff are treated differently than other people who've done this stuff, it's going to throw out problems in court, because they're going to throw out the cases, because they'll be like, well, wait, you're clearly not following the same standard with everyone else. It looks like you're targeting this person.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. We don't know what's going to happen. But there definitely is some people. I think there are some people who would love to get their hands on the Dragon Ball license over here.
I'm sure there would. I'm sure there's some voice actors who'd love the chance.
Oh yeah,
to be in there. I'm just saying, treat everybody the same. I mean, this person's like, it's not as bad. They're just funny. You can't take a joke. No, I can take a joke. I get joking. This was just like, oh my god, on some of it.
Yeah, and like I said, we actually were part of the anime community for years. We did many conventions. We went in as comics guests. We did panels with a lot of voice actors, and this is the culture. Kind of the same with Vic Mignogna, with the hugging and the kissing and the photo, and that
which he admitted to.
He admitted to. That is part of the culture. A lot of other voice actors are guilty of that too.
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact that a lot of them are guilty of the same
right.
thing.
The question is, did it ever go beyond that? And again, that's
for the courts to decide.
That's for the courts.
I'm not going to go make assumptions based on what I saw because it's not my place to do so.
So, but in this situation, there actually is proof. There's proof that they're doing this, and it's not a good look. And I don't know if somebody goes to Toei and says, "Hey, do you guys know what's going on over there?" I mean, this on top of the lawsuit. I mean, Funimation's being sued by Vic Mignogna. They're going to be like, "You guys are a bunch of ass clowns."
I would just try to, And the thing is, I think, the whole thing is parents and people that let their kids watch this are going to see this stuff. I don't care if it's Vic or these other guys, and they're going to be like, "I don't want my kids watching this."
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to be like, "I don't want that people around these people."
Yeah.
I don't want my kids at a con around these people.
Well, that's just it, because now there's this huge cloud over Funimation in general, because the media is actually distorted it, like with the situation with Vic, like Vic was preying on young anime fans. What if you have some mom out there that doesn't understand what's going on? It's just like, wait, you mean I'm gonna send my daughter to an anime con and some old guys are gonna creep on her? Ew. And they're saying this kind of, it's just a bad look. Well,
I'm not just saying about Vic, there's these people too. I'd be like, if I wasn't me and I didn't do pop culture stuff, and Squid King watched Dragon Ball, which he really doesn't, so it doesn't really matter. But if he watched this and I heard this and I heard those videos, I would be like, oh hell no, you're not going anywhere near these people. And I'd be right in Funimation being like, what are you doing over there? Why would you think letting them do this is okay? Because the stuff they said.
If I were Toei, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, people are going to associate this kind of crap. It's bad enough you guys went and got yourselves into a huge, like, high-profile lawsuit that actually sort of leaked outside of the anime news outlets. But now you've got this out there, too, and it's just a matter of time until people pounce on
But they better treat it the same way they treated the Vic Mignogna situation. I mean, I don't see how they can not treat it the same way and say, because otherwise people are going to be calling them out, like, wait, whoa, and then and it could hurt their lawsuit and everything else. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I would think that can't do well for their lawsuit when they're not, punishing the same. So
yeah, I think there absolutely is going to be blowback this time, because this is like, okay, one time. Okay, whatever. Twice within 6 months now, we've got another debacle. We can't afford this. We can't afford to have you guys continually drop the ball like this. So I think we're going to wrap this one up. We'll keep an eye on this situation. Did not expect it.
No, I did not expect to hear what I heard.
We haven't even been, and the reason we were kind of slow to get to it is we haven't really been following Funimation and Vic Mignogna and any of that. We just kind of figured other people had it covered, so we did not have to.
We're trying to get a bunch of new things up, like animation and creation stuff too. That's what we want to we want to do is continue to cover the news and pop culture stuff. But we also want to expand out into creating things too. I don't want to just be the kinds that are people are sitting here yelling all the time for no reason.
It's not good.
I have reasons. I have reasons though. Don't even get me started about the new Poison Ivy. I mean, don't even get me started.
Well, that might be another video. So
could be.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.